Okay, so here we go. So what we're taking a look at is we're back here to Fusion. Gonna go ahead and click create a sketch. Gonna create my plane, right? So now I'm just gonna do a 2-point rectangle. And again, I'm making this quick and easy. All right, clicking here and starting to drag. The dimensions that I'm gonna use, these are not the right dimensions, right? They're not the right dimensions. Okay, you have to figure out what those dimensions are from your stuff, right? Should be easy. I'm just gonna make it 3 inches. Actually, let me. Since this is my first time on this computer, I better make sure that my settings are right. Yep, it's in inches. All right, that's good. All right, 2-point rectangle. Click, drag. Actually, I'm gonna go 2.5. Tab over, and I'm gonna make this 4 inches. Okay, I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, again, these are not the right dimensions. I'm going to create a. I'm gonna hit escape. I'm going to finish that sketch, and I'm going to extrude it. I'm gonna click on that, and I'm gonna make it 1/4 of an inch. So 0.25, just to make my life easy. All right. That part is the right dimension. It's going to be 1/4 inch thick. Now I'm going to create another sketch, and I'm going to create my 2 circles. I'm going to eyeball this. We talked about what these should be yesterday, I believe. So 0.177. And I'm going to make another one right about here. Because remember, this should match up with the 2 holes that you already made for your bent aluminum piece. Remember? We talked about that yesterday, right? It should match up with the bent aluminum. So I've got those 2 things. I'm going to finish the sketch. And now I'm going to extrude those 2 holes. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the front view. Click on that. Click on that. So now there are 2 profiles selected. And that distance that I'm going to extrude it will be negative 1/4. So it's got a cut function. I'm going to click OK. And here we go. Okay. So far, so good. Now I'm going to hit save. Okay, so I'm just going to call this, I don't know, Trombley _ 3D print. Okay. So, bless you. Let's see. Now I'm going to go in here to File. And now we need to, I need to make sure that I can open this up in Cura. Okay. So I'm going to go to Save As. Let's see. Nope, not going to go Save As. Hit cancel on that. Export. There we go. I'm going to export, and the type that I'm going to export this as, I'm going to export it as an STL. It's at the bottom, toward the bottom, STL. Okay, you see that? So I'm going to export as STL file, and I'm going to click export. Okay. So, it's going to say, it's going to give me a status or whatever. It's going to go through this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to look for it, right? So this is where we're switching softwares, right? So now in the bottom left for your search, I would like you to type in Cura, Cura. Okay? And so the app that's here is Ultimaker Cura 4.4. That went away really fast. Ultimaker Cura, 4.4. Okay. So I double click on that. And it takes a while to load. So this has got, the the spinning wheel of death, right? So it's loading everything. First time it loads, it might take a little bit. So it's going to ask you to get started. I think it does this almost every time for whatever reason. Just going to agree to all this stuff. Next, next, next. All right, so this is what we need to look at here. So this part depends on what is actually available to print on. Okay, we have three different printers. Okay, two different types. Okay, so we're going to add a non-network printer, and the one that's highlighted up above is the Ultimaker S5. Okay, we have one of those. So if that one is available to print on, you're going to click it. Okay, we know it works. If that one is not available, you can go down to the Ultimaker 3. Okay, those are the two that we have that are functional right now. So S5 is working. I'm going to click next. So now, once I'm on this Cura site, I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Open Files. And I'm going to search for iTrombley 3D print. So I started to type it in up in the search bar, and there it is. So I got Trombley 3D print V1 STL. I click on that. And with any luck, oh, it's opening at MakerBot. Don't want MakerBot. All right, let me go back to maybe I just go 3D print. Okay, it's in downloads. Okay. Just want to double check where I had it saved. All right, so it looks like it wants to make it, for whatever reason, it looks like Fusion is set up to MakerBot. So I'm going to choose this other app. You guys see what I did there? Let me go back. So I found this in my downloads, right? I'm going to right click, open with, choose another app. There's Cura. Okay, so it looks like it totally opened up a new piece here. Okay, or a new window. So right now, if you were to print this, this would probably not go very well. Why wouldn't this go very well? What do you think?
Because it's tall and skinny.
Tall and skinny, right? So if you think about the 3D printer, the 3D printer is built on, uses 3-axis, right? So if it's trying to build up too much, that's not going to go very well. It's probably going to tip over and get kind of irritating, right? So what we want to do is I want to double click on this thing, and there's different tools over here on the left. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and click rotate. Okay, this rotate part. And I'm just going to go, I'm going to click on the second one where it says lay flat. Maybe? No? Come on. There we go. For some reason, the lay flat didn't work at first. Oh, it did. It probably did. It was just saying it was laying flat on the one axis. Okay. So now if I look at this, I can kind of zoom in just like that. The holes are probably not showing up because they are pretty small. Okay. And so it will actually, they should print. We'll find out. So then I'm going to click slice. And actually, you can resize this, or if we need to, we can double click on the object. We can go through it and mess with the settings. Okay, we can scale it. Right now, it's telling me it's 63.5 millimeters. So it's giving me everything in millimeters. Okay. So you will have to tweak those settings in the event that those don't match up. Okay. So we can scale it. Let's say I want it, like I'm looking at that and saying, dude, that's way too big. I can go ahead and make it 50%. Okay, I can type in a 50 here, and it will auto scale the rest of it, and it'll shrink everything. Okay, I'm gonna go back to 100 though. I'm gonna trust that it imported it properly. Okay, if it didn't, I can redo it later. I'm gonna click. If you look up here at the top, this is a part where people sometimes struggle. Is you need to make sure that you have the right material. Okay. Right now, the stuff that I have in there is generic PLA, and this one talks about extruder number one. The two, extruder number two. So I'm paying attention to extruder one. We're just doing one color. That's all we need. It's set to fine. If you set it to fine, it's going to take longer. You don't want this to take longer. You want it to be quick. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to set it to 0.15 just for fun. Okay. We don't need supports. You can adjust that if you've got something that's three-dimensional and you've got like a part that's hanging out over the side. You could do supports. You don't need it here. Okay. This is just a flat piece. The infill is set to 20%. That's totally fine. You shouldn't go over 20% for the majority of prints, especially if they're small, because that infill of 20% is good enough. If you go all the way to 100, it's going to take considerably longer, right? And that's if you want it to be like super strong and you're not worried about time. All right, so I'm gonna call it good. Something to point out is the print core is set to 0.4. It's AA 0.4. Okay, so sometimes if you have a different print core in there, it won't work. So I'm just going to go ahead and click slice, and it will process all of it. And it's going to tell me that this piece with the dimensions that I chose is going to take 2 hours and 55 minutes. So this stuff takes a while. Okay. So, but the reason why I'm putting this out there is because I want us to know how to do it. Well, now I'm still not done. Okay, so now I sliced it. It's telling me how long it's going to take. You've got to take a little thumb drive, right? We've got those in the printers. You're just going to pop it in to the USB. And I'm going to click Save to File. So right now it's saying, hey, this is what we've got over here. I'm going to save to removable. So now it's telling me what it's saving it as. I'm going to click Eject. And now I'm ready to go over there and print. Okay. So I'm going to pop this out. I'm going to go ahead and stop my sharing. I'm going to head on over